Hi everyone, this is Phone Rennie's look at the new LG Octane, which is available from Verizon Wireless. The LG Octane is a bit of an update to the LG NV3. As you probably know, the NV series has been around for a few years now and has been pretty popular. This is the NV3 here. There's also the NV Touch, both of which came out last year. The new Octane is a little bit more stylish than its predecessor. It's this mocha brown in color and has a chrome accent ring around the circumference. On the front of the phone, the TFT display is also a little bit larger, currently at 1.76 inches, where the older NV3 was at 1.56 inches. So it's a little bit of an increase in size, but it definitely does matter here. You can use it for dialing phone numbers, text messaging, going through your contacts and music, pictures and settings. Underneath that, the D-pad is now square in shape instead of circular. We actually like the square design. It's a little bit easier to use. The numeric keypad is pretty much the same shape, but the keys are actually a little bit smaller, vertically going up and down than the NV3. It doesn't fill quite as much room. Around the sides of the Octane, you have your volume rocker, camera key, 2.5mm headset jack, micro SD card slot that you can put up to a 16 gigabyte card in, and micro USB port. It's also a 3 megapixel camera and flash on the back. Just like on the NV3, the Octane has the two-stop hinge that you can open and close pretty easily here. On the insides of the phone, both of them have a 2.6-inch QVGA display, no real difference there, and stereo speakers on either side. As you can see, the keypad has been updated slightly. On the Octane, it's actually a one-piece plastic membrane on here. There's also not very much relief from the keys, and there's not a lot of space between them. So because of this, it's pretty easy to press several keys at one time, and we did have this happen on occasion. On the NV3, however, you can see the keys are actually completely separate from one another, and there is some space, so it does give you a little bit better typing room on here. So between the two for typing, we definitely like the keyboard on the NV3 better. There aren't many changes in the software on the LG Octane. Have your pretty similar main menu settings here with Media Center, messaging, contacts, recent calls, and settings and tools. Going into the display settings, a few different themes are available. There's a jean pocket, paper peeling white, and slick black on the internal display, and on the front one there's only two, notebook and menu card. There's also different clocks, and you can change the styling of the fonts and the sizes. The music player on the Octane is also pretty identical to the one that we saw with the NV3, showing the album art when playing. You can also use the music player in the background, so it shows your current track on the screen. You can also do other tasks with the phone at the same time, such as sending message or using the web browser. The only thing we noticed is that the actual music volume on the Octane isn't quite as loud as the NV3, even though we had them both turned up to the highest level. Music quality is good on both, but the NV3 can get about 1.5 times as loud as the LG Octane for music playback. The 3 megapixel camera is fixed focused and has a single LED flash, just like on the NV3. Features are also pretty similar. The only thing we noticed is that the images taken by the Octane when we viewed them on a computer images weren't quite as sharp and detailed as ones from the NV3. We also noticed a bit of a white balance issue as well, where colors didn't quite match. So the advantage once again for picture taking goes to the NV3, but the Octane isn't really that bad considering it's a mid-range device with a 3 megapixel camera. Fortunately for video recording, you're limited to just 320 by 240 resolution at 15 frames per second. Here we have the HTML browser loaded up on the phonearena.com website. As you can see, several of the images and flash files aren't loading, which is to be expected. Also, since the display on the Octane is only a QVGA, small text is very pixelated on it. You really have to zoom in quite a lot to read the text. It's not that bad of a browser, considering it's a multimedia phone, feature phone, not a smartphone. Plus, since a data plan isn't required, you can either not use the browser at all and not pay for any data, or if you're just going to use it a little bit, maybe just go with one of the more expensive or least expensive data plans. Of course, the more you use it, the more data you'll incur. But at least it's nice to have the option on the phone. Our only main issue that we had with the Octane was with the voice quality. One of the first things we noticed when talking to someone, that the voice through the earpiece speaker, that the volume would start out low at the beginning of words or sentences and then increase in volume. We had several people try this on the Octane, and all of them could notice it. Another issue that we had was that when we were talking to someone with the Octane, that we would get a bit of an echo in our earpiece as well. But even more noticeable than that was people that we talked to on their end, such as someone on a landline or another cell phone. Whenever they would talk, they would get a very large echo on their end as well. So between these echoes of voices and inconsistency with the call volume, we really can't recommend the LG Octane for people that use it a lot for calls. Hopefully a software update down the line will fix this, but as of now, this is pretty main concern. However, the actual signal reception of the device was pretty good, about equal to the NV3, had 3 to 4 bars of signal reception and didn't drop any calls. Also, the battery was able to provide up to 5 hours of continuous talk time, while the NV3 was able to get up to 5.5 hours. So the Octane was about a half an hour less with the talk time. So in conclusion, the LG Octane here, it would make a pretty decent update from the NV3 if it wasn't for the poor quality that we had with phone calls. We do like the styling more, but as we said earlier, the keypad, it's this membrane design. You may not have a problem with it. We didn't really care for it. We like the individual buttons better, and the 3 megapixel camera. The images on the Octane aren't quite as sharp and not quite as good colors as what you get from the NV3. So at this point, we'd say try the Octane for yourself. If it sounds good to you and people that you call on it, then go for it. But if you're having problems with it, I would say stay away until there's a software update. So be sure to check out our full in-depth review of the LG Octane on our website at phonearena.com.